Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today, I want to take a little time to talk about my top value, number one, if I was going to choose by value, made in America pocket knife. And that is the Doug Ritter Hogue RSK MK1 survival knife. And before I get into this knife, guys, I'm going to ask, like I always do, if you would, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon next to it. A like would be great too. It all helps the channel. That's all I ask. But guys, this Ritter Hogue it's designed by Doug Ritter and made by Hogue. Um, Sold exclusively through KnifeWorks. So to get a Ritter Hogue, you have to go to knifeworks.com. Um, this knife, Doug was a big fan, had something to do with the development, I'm not sure what, of the Benchmade Griptilian. He always liked the Axis lock and thought it was a great lock. And this is what I've read on KnifeWorks' site. Um, so what they did is he knew when the patent expired, like everybody did, and he started designing a knife that he thought would have the same utility of the Benchmade Griptilian, but it would be a better knife. It would be made better, it would have better materials, and it would be designed better. So, what they set out to do at the onset was to design a better, more refined bar lock. And they did that with this nice, thicker jimping plate, or I guess you'd call it the bar lock mounting plate that has this tight jimping on it. It's a little bit wider. It actually screws into the G10 handles, into the liners, and they used a U.S. company called Wolf Springs, to make the axis springs or the U springs, whatever you call those. So they're much stiffer. The detent, to me, is much snappier. It sucks back in, and they are just a larger, heavier spring. So the blade is done exceptionally well. To me, it is in every way superior to the Griptilian. I love the Griptilian. I've got a mini Griptilian. If we get off on a tangent, we'll bring it out here and compare it to the little Arc SK1. But to me, this blade is more attractive. I love the 3/4 flat grind. I love the way that the flat just has a light Hogue, light USA, Doug Ritter's Maker's Mark, 20 CV, which is another thing. The blade steel at 20 CV has a very nice sharpening choil here at the end of this cutting edge. It's very slicey. I think the thumb studs are designed very well. I think they're very grabby. I like the thumb studs for both the reverse flick. I'm hitting that axis lock earlier, or a thumb flick. And I'm not a big thumb flicker guy, as you know all too well. I'm more of a reverse flick guy. But the other thing about the Ritter Hogue is this G10. I don't know how well you can see that texture on the G10 through my camera, but it is very well textured. It's not aggressive to where it's uncomfortable, but it is aggressive enough to where you get a very, very sure purchase on the knife. You also, with this jimping on the bar lock plate and the jimping on the blade, you really can lock into the grip. So this is the full-size version of this knife. So it is, by all means, a full-size knife, as you can see in my medium to large size hand. I can get, however, because it's a pretty neutral grip, a full 4 fingers and then some on that grip. I would think someone with hands much bigger than mine could get a full 4-finger grip on that knife and be very comfortable. I can feel the liners with my hands when I grip down on it. I can feel the jimping, but I think that's by design and it's not uncomfortable. And just kind of If any of y'all watch Metal Complex, when he does his reviews, he breaks this out and says the same size as a Benchmade Griptilian, but I'm going to show you the Ritter Hogue because they are the same size knife. And in my mind, this is a more superior specimen. So let's do a couple of quick size comparisons just to get that out of the way. Cold Steel 4 Max, smaller than Civivi Baby Banner. It is bigger than our Benchmade Bug Out. It is bigger than. And our Spyderco Paramilitary 2, it's just a hair smaller than. So that does show you that the Ritter Hogue is a full-size knife by every stretch. But what does that really mean to us? So let's break out the Javon promotional free tape measure, and we'll get the info that this knife's right over 8 inches, like 8 and an eighth, 8 and an eighth. The blade is right about 3.5 inches. The handle is right around 4 3/4. That little cavity that goes to that front jimping, or not jimping, that little choil area is right at 4 inches. And the cutting area, for those who care, is right under 3.5 inches. So if we were going to look at the blade stock, we would learn that on the spine it's 0.1235. The cutting bevel right where it's sharpened is 0.090. And then the handle comes in over 1/2 inch at 0.62. So it's a very slicey knife. Let's break out a couple of coupons. And even though it's a little thicker spine knife, that tall 3/4 flat grind is very, very slicey. Sorry, Tippy. And sorry, guys. I had a cat move through here real quickly. So anyway, from an everyday carry, full-size knife, made in America. Oop, we forgot to do something. I forgot to weigh it for you. Let's break out the Javon scale, and we'll see that this 3.5 inch knife weighs 4.45 ounces. So it is a little heavier knife. I think that's partially because of those steel liners. I think that's partially because of that beefy G10 handle. It doesn't bother me. It just actually feels like a knife. Feels good in my pocket. Goes in and out of pocket very well. I mean, literally, that spoon clip really goes in and out of pocket in my khakis with no problem, even though that's aggressiver or more aggressive G10. I love the blade on this knife. I really do. I love the stone washing on the knife. I love the fact that if you go out and you purchase this knife, or if you purchase the little mini Ritter Hogue, which is the same size as the mini Griptilian, you're supporting Doug Ritter, which allows him to spend all of his time fighting for the knife owner's rights through Knife Rights, right? So Knife Rights and Knives Live we do every year are our 24-hour live marathon, live stream marathon. Stay tuned. This year may be a little different, but we do that to help and raise money for Doug. Well, this knife and sales of this knife free him the time to make him and his family a little bit of money so they can live while they're kind of fighting the bigger fight for all of us. So I say that because not only are you doing a patriotic thing by purchasing a made in America knife, a really good knife, but you are supporting an organization, or you're supporting a gentleman who single-handedly runs an organization so that we can all carry what we love to carry, do what we love to do with our knives, and make sure that some of these archaic knife laws are knocked off the books when a state tries to overstep the the bounds of the man's right or woman's right to carry a tool that they use every day. Doug's the one that in 24 hours mobilizes and has to go fight for that bill not to pass because they don't give you a lot of forward notice, right? This was an RSK or Doug Ritter Hogue MK1 RSK2 or Riddle Survivor Knife MK1. I'm losing my mind. That was donated to me from the Knives Lives guys. And this one I picked up from Knife Works. This little guy I picked up from Knife Works too, because again, I love the knives. I love that they're all 20 CV, that they're on wolf springs, stronger than the traditional springs that I'm used to. They carry great. They're made in America, and they support Doug, who in turn supports Knife Rights and makes it go, which in turn helps all of us guys. I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you learned something about Ritter Hogues if you hadn't experienced one yet. They are 110% Javon approved. They're only available at KnifeWorks, knifeworks.com. But guys, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for looking out for the guy or gal to your left, looking out for the guy or gal to your right, looking out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. All that lovely stuff. I love y'all. Peace.